Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel. I'm Tim. Today what we're going to do is we're going to install the software required for Python development. The two pieces of software we're going to need is we're going to need to download Python, and we're also going to download a development environment called Visual Studio Code. Both of them are completely free, and they will install on multiple operating systems. So whether you have Windows, whether you have Mac, or Linux, you can install the software. So we're going to download Python, and currently the version is 3.10 plus. And what's Python, the download? Well, it's a runtime environment, and what it does is it interprets our Python scripts that we're going to be making and runs our code. In the download, it also includes something called idle, which is a simple integrated development environment, and as well includes documentation for Python. The second download is Visual Studio Code. This is a full-featured integrated development environment that, combined with optional extensions, provides a great developer experience. So launch your browser, and we're going to go to try to find Python download. And after entering that search engine, hopefully python.org comes up. And select this website. And let's see what's there. Ooh, download. This auto-detected my operating system, which happens to be Windows. And I'm going to click on the button there, and I'm going to download the current version, which is 3.10.5, reveal in Finder, and then let's begin the install. To install the software, we're going to open up this package provided by Python, and we're going to run it. That install button, make sure you check Add Python 10 to path. Then hit the install button, and the installer will install Python. It may take a few moments for the installation to finish. Just be patient. Almost done. Now it's completed. So hit the close button, and we can verify whether or not Python was installed. Into the search window, we can type Python. And you can see here that we have multiple applications that have been installed. As well, we also have some manuals, in other words, documentation. The next piece of software we're going to install is Visual Studio Code. So we'll type that into the search window. And make sure you pick Visual Studio Code. There are different types of Visual Studio. The one we're using is Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here we are. Click on the link. And you'll see here that there's various different downloads for different operating systems. We're interested in the Windows one. You need a minimum of Windows 8, and 10 and 11 also work. So let's click on that button, and your download should complete. Once the download is started, what we're going to do is we're going to open the folder, or show in folder, and we'll begin the install. Right click, open. Now the install will begin. Hit the run button, accept the user agreement, hit next, and it's going to put it in this location. Make sure you have enough disk space. Next, and just leave the defaults, they're fine for what we're doing. Next, install. Give it a moment. The software is now being installed into your computer. And once it's completed, we'll launch Visual Studio Code. Okay, now that we have Visual Studio Code installed, the first time you launch it, you're going to get this screen pop up. Okay, we'll just mark as done, and that's fine. This is the beginning point of the application. And we could open up a folder. So click on Open Folder. And I'm just going to create a folder. Okay, so right click in this area here, the File Explorer, and create a folder. Whatever folder you want to create. Now you could also create your folder in somewhere else if you'd like. That's fine too. So I'll just call folder, and I'm going to call mine Python Projects. Select the folder. And hit the button Select Folder. Now what's going to happen is Visual Studio Code will reopen. A little security thing. Do you trust the authors of the files in this folder? Well, yes, I do, because I am the author. So now it's going to click on that button. And you'll see here on the left-hand side now, Visual Studio Code has opened up in that particular folder. And this is where later we'll be placing files and folders. The other thing you may want to do is you may want to install some extensions. And these extensions will assist us in creating our Python projects. So select that Python one, or you can just type Python if it doesn't show up. And we're going to install this extension to Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. Hit the install button, and it'll take a few moments. And what it's going to do is it will install not only Python, but helpers for us to create our applications. Okay, now, if you want to, you can see here that's what we installed. And there are a whole bunch of other things that came with it. They're fine. They're also, in the future, if you're going to be doing Python development, they may be very helpful. Okay. Other things. Settings. We're going to put some settings into Visual Studio Code to make our development environment a little more friendly. The first one is font size. I'm going to change my font size to 20. And you can just type in the search window here, zoom. I like to be able to zoom in very quickly to my code, so I'm going to enable mouse wheel zoom. And I check that button. The next setting is autosave. What autosave does is automatically saves your code after a delay. And we'll click on that. And you'll see here that there is a delay. The delay is 1000 milliseconds is the time period after the last edit. So it'll automatically save your file for you. Okay, almost done. Let's close this settings window. And we're going to open up an application inside of Visual Studio Code called Terminal. So click on Terminal up at the menu bar, and a window should open up here. Inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to type Python space hyphen hyphen version. I know it's a little hard to see. Hit enter, and you'll see here that we now have our Python version 3.10.5 installed. So this verifies that Visual Studio understands how to access Python. Thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe to the channel.